What's going on, guys? Box 15 breakdown is here. Let's pop this puppy open and get to it. If this is your first box with us, welcome. We're super pumped to have you here. And what's about to happen is I'm about to break down every single solitary bait right here inside this box with you guys, so you guys can catch more fish out on the water. I'm gonna go ahead, just pull everything out of the box, and then we'll break it down. You got your Bass Reaper Sinister Shad, 3.5 inch. This is a very popular bait about 4 or 5 months ago in our last box. You guys loved it. It's a great bait for this time of year, so we brought it back. You've got Lunker Hunt 3.0 offset worm hooks. That's gonna pair with all the soft plastics inside of your box. You got your stud finder right here, which is an awesome hard bait. You got the Z-Man Sling Blade Z. Awesome spinnerbait here. Spinnerbait is one of my favorite baits for this time of the year. You got the Bass Assassin, nice top water. You got the Big Daddy, a big old crankbait that's gonna get you a little bit deeper. The Bruiser Baits Rad Shad, the X-Zone 6-inch Deception Worm, and you got the Whistling Wizard. You got a bunch of baits inside of here. Crazy value for just $39.99. Now, let's go through them all, show you guys how to rig them, how to fish them, so you guys can be more successful on the water. I'm gonna start it off with the Z-Man spinnerbait right here. What an awesome bait for this time of year. A spinnerbait does an unbelievable job of mimicking a school of bait fish. These blades on here throw off a crazy flash and a crazy vibration, and it's just a bait you guys should have so much confidence in on the water. Now, a spinnerbait is super easy to fish. All you're gonna do is make a long cast. This thing will cast a whopping mile. Let it sink down to the desired depth. Once you get it to the depth, all you're gonna do is literally just straight crank it. There's no twitching of the rod involved whatsoever. All you do is straight crank it, and those blades are gonna be throwing off an insane flash, and it will really fire the fish up. Now, my biggest tip on this bait here is this bait can be fished in just about every depth of the water column, down below, in the middle, and up high. You gotta really figure out what the fish want on that given day, but if they're feeding up high, as soon as it hits the water, start cranking. If they're feeding down low, let it fall down all the way to the bottom and just give it a slow reel. A spinnerbait will shine at any part of the day, whether it is morning, evening, midday. It is gonna do an excellent job. Just get a nice, slow, and steady crank, and you're gonna be pulling on some fish. Now, if you wanna get really crazy with it, you got your Bass Reapers inside of here. You can use this bait as a trailer on your spinnerbait. To do that, all you're gonna do is take your spinnerbait, take your Bass Reaper, and just rig it right up on the spinnerbait, just like this. Feed it up, up, pop it out right in the center of the back, push it up, and just like that, you've got yourself a bigger profile. This tail in the back is gonna be kicking, and it's just gonna be a deadly bait for you guys. Now we're gonna move right into the two crankbaits of the month. You got the Big Daddy and you have the Whistling Wizard. These two baits are very easy to fish. They're fished the exact same way. All you gotta do is throw it out there and reel it in at a nice steady pace, and just make sure that bait is just like this, nice and straight, wiggling and just throwing off a vibration. Now you have two crankbaits inside this box because this one is not gonna fish as deep as this one. You guys can see you got a bigger lip on this one than you do on this one. So if you're in a deeper part of the lake, you're gonna wanna fish the Big Daddy. If you're in a shallower part of the lake, you're fishing around banks, you're gonna fish the Whistling Wizard. Both of these baits are absolutely excellent, super easy to fish, so I love putting crankbaits inside these boxes. So if you're finding the fish to be feeding a little bit deeper, fish the Big Daddy. If you're finding the fish to be feeding a little bit more towards the surface, fish the Whistling Wizard. Up next, you got the Bass Reaper 3.5 inch Sinister Shad. This is all around just a beautiful small bait fish imitation. It's a soft plastic. I showed you guys can use it on the back of the spinnerbait you have inside of this box as a trailer. But if you guys wanna fish this on its own, you have the Lunker Hunt 3.0s inside of here to pair with it. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to rig it right now. You got your hook, you got your Bass Reaper. This right here is the bottom of the bait. This right here is the top of the bait. Here's how you're gonna do it. Take your hook just like this, take your bait, you're gonna go right dead center of the top of the bait, the nose of the bait, go down just about right there. As soon as it starts making the turn, pop it out just like that. You're gonna pull the hook and push the bait up. As soon as you get it up into this hook slit, you're gonna turn the bait and push it up, cover that hook. Now all you gotta do is line the hook up, see where it's gonna pop out, and it's typically right in the back of the bait, just like that. You have yourself a rigged soft plastic right there, and this thing is unbelievable. Now to make it weedless, you can take the tip of the hook and push it down inside of the soft plastic so you guys can pull this thing through the grass, through the weeds. You can fish it anywhere, let it sink down to your desired depth, or you can burn it up on top. It is an excellent bait, very simple and easy to fish. Cast it out there, reel it in, but this is just such a good bait and the bass can't resist it. The pack of hooks inside of your box pair with all the soft plastics. We're gonna go ahead and move right into a bait that I'm super pumped up about to have in this month's box, the X-Zone 6-inch Deception Worm. Now this bait, you guys can see, is very long, it's very thin, and it's very stealthy. This is a bait that you're gonna wanna use in certain conditions. Ideally, when it is very calm, not a lot of wind, the water's very, very still. This thing is stealth and it's got action that's just gonna get those bass going. On windier days, you wanna throw your hard baits, you wanna throw your spinner bait, but let me show you guys how to rig this thing. Exact same way, you're gonna go right in the tip of the bait, just right there, turn, push it up, twist, just like I showed you guys on the last soft plastic. Now you're gonna take this and you're just gonna put it right there, and holy Lord, that is this is my go-to bait if the water is super still. I mean, look at the action on that. You can just, I'm barely doing anything with it and it is wiggling. All you gotta do to fish this thing is just cast it out, okay? Let it sink down to the bottom. You gotta be patient. This is a light bait. It's very, very light, so it's gonna take a little bit of time to get down there. Once it gets down there, when you feel like it's hit the bottom, it's very subtle, it's very slow. You gotta have a lot of patience with this bait, but it's just a twitch, 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 just like that. 3 little twitches, 2 twitches, let it fall back down to the bottom, reel your slack in. Let it fall, twitch, 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 let it fall back down. A lot of times when it's falling back down, you're gonna feel that bass just grab it with his mouth. He's gonna grab it, let him hold on to it for a second. Once you think he's got it all in his mouth, you're just gonna reel down and set that hook. But this bait is unbelievable. If you see bass along the bank, this is an excellent sight fishing bait. Let it sink right down on them and just twitch the rod. This bait, I'm excited to have it in the box. That is for dang sure. The last bag of soft plastics that you guys have inside of your box is the Bruiser Baits Rad Shad. Excellent bait, you guys. Really, really excellent bait. You've got a lot of action in this bait with how they have this bait made. Now you guys can see the dark part of the bait is the top, the bottom part of the bait, the blue is the bottom, and you have a little hook slit right inside of here. So now let me show you guys how to rig it. You're gonna rig it the exact same way that I showed you guys to the last baits. Right there, boom, pop it out, slide it up there, and you have your hook slit right here. I'm just gonna go in, boom, pop it out, dead center of the bait. You're rigged and ready to fish. I love this bait. Super, super easy bait to fish as well. You know, it's not a cast out there and reel, but it is a cast out there. Let it hit the water, let it sink down. Once you get down to the bottom, all you're doing is a twitch, twitch, pause. That's all it is. Twitch, twitch, pause. Let it sink back down. Sometimes they want it fished really slow. Other days they want it fished a little bit quicker, but just keep it in mind, the water's getting colder, the bass are getting colder, which means they're not gonna wanna swim as fast to hunt bait down. Did I just get a bite? But to fish this bait, it's a twitch, twitch, pause. You just wanna see your bait just darting side to side, letting it fall down. Dart, dart, fall down. Excellent bait. Moving right into a top water lure. This is a Bass Assassin. It's a smaller profile and it doesn't throw off as big of a wake as something like a spook would. That is why it's called the Bass Assassin. This guy just darts on the top of the water. He's a little bit more quiet, which is what you want for this time of year. This bait is stealthy. It's got a sweet paint job. You guys can see it's got that cracked paint job, which I think is just super cool. And you're gonna wanna fish a topwater. Obviously, your best chances of getting a bite is gonna be low light periods, early morning, late evening. But if you're seeing the fish, you gotta observe the behavior of the fish. Observe the behavior of the lake. If I walk up to the lake and I'm seeing, you know, blow-ups on the surface of the water, immediately I'm thinking topwater. And this thing right here is gonna, it's gonna crush it. Now to fish this bait here, you're gonna cast it out there. As soon as it hits the water, it will start to sink. But as soon as you get it back on the surface, you're gonna get that walk the dog style, and all you're gonna do is just like this. You're gonna be twitching and reeling simultaneously, and you're gonna see your bait darting back and forth just like this. And that motion, holy cow, does it drive the bass absolutely bonkers. So just cast it out there as soon as it hits the water. This is all you're doing, ladies and gents. just like this. Twitching the rod and reeling simultaneously. You're covering ground and you're watching your lure swim side to side, and the bass are simply just gonna clobber it. Your last bait in this month's box is the stud finder. You guys can see it's a little bit different than the other two crankbaits you have inside of here. This is a bit more of a jerk bait. It's a longer, skinnier profile, and in order to fish this guy, you're gonna cast it out there. It's immediately gonna start sinking, and all you're gonna do is let it sink down to your desired depth, and then you're just gonna straight reel it. That is simply all you're gonna do is straight reel it. If you wanna get crazy with it, you can use it as a jerk bait and just pop the rod just like that quick. Twitch, 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 just like that. It can sometimes really trigger a reaction bite. So there you guys have it, box 15 breakdown, another box absolutely loaded, the best mystery fishing box on the market, hands down. If you guys have any questions at all about how to use a bait, or when you should use a bait, or where you should use a bait, please leave it down below in the comment section. I'm here to help you guys. This is a crash course on fishing. We're shipping you guys the baits so you guys can be successful on the water. We're showing you guys exactly how to use them. I love seeing you guys crushing the fish, so keep on sending them to us. I hope y'all catch some PBs this month, and like always, happy fishing.